To talk about. That's our main focus. But how about how much happened in the offseason? Rules changes. Overtime rules were discussed in a big way. Some superstars changed addresses. There's a whole lot to talk about in the NFL in addition to this game we're getting ready to watch.
Here's a punter, Thomas Morstead, to get this one started. And off we go from Seattle. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They're led onto the field by the former third-round pick back in 2012, and that's the quarterback, Nick Foles.
Love his build, love his arm. Had a Pro Bowl season with the Philadelphia Eagles, looking to scale those heights once again.
Foles. And this one caught by Beasley. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. And a look now at the Cincinnati offense.
Obviously a tough test for this offense right out of the gate. Road game in game 1 of the new year. Conventional wisdom says, go slow, take care of the football. I think in this case, attack early and get the home team back on their heels.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And even 30 yards on a play that began back at the 30. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. This is David Johnson, the former All-Pro. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now a man closing in on 15,000 career rush yards, Frank Gore. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Now Foles. And the catch made by Johnson. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody covered. Oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. They'll get 3 out of the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Here's Foles. And it's caught. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals take it right down and score on the opening drive. Excellent start there. First drive of the season. Big-time success putting it in the end zone.
And remember, that was done without any real map of how to do it. In other words, the deeper you get into the season, you get game film to work off of, tendencies to work off of. The first drive of the season, things can be entirely different than what you've seen in the past. It's a really good job of execution by them.
So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They're led out by their 6-foot quarterback. You may have heard of him. From Purdue, it's Drew Brees.
And when you think of Drew Brees, you think of production and you think of competitiveness. That guy competes on every snap. Whether he's throwing it, moving around in the pocket, calling plays, you name it, he knows how to rally a team.
That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up a touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They run with Ezekiel Elliott, last year's NFL rushing leader. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. For Zeke, what a first 3 years he's had in the NFL. Last year, his second rushing title, 1,434 yards. Not as many as 1,631 that he had as a rookie, but still his yards per game average was the best in the National Football League. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver, but it's going to be 2nd down.
Had no command that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
10 yards and a Seattle first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And he's got it. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A 15-yard touchdown grab as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Boswell good with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The Bengals getting set to go. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra hut, you know, that extra emphasis on it. Got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
Following the penalty, it's Gore. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Call it a gain of a couple there as it'll leave him with a 2nd and just 3. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. On the jet sweep, this is Beasley. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football. These two teams all tied after one. Out of the gun now on third down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
White now to return. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field.
Ready? Yellow lady, yellow lady.
Draw play, Elliott. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Kill, kill, kill. Turn up. Kill, kill, kill.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And there's the first tackle of the game for Carl Joseph. He's one of those safeties that you can utilize in any way you want. But I will have to say, I think the number one thing he does best is tackle.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. Well, the Bengals and Seahawks meeting here in week 1, and this is a combination that we haven't seen that often on the turf. If you look back to when the franchises began facing each other all the way back in 1977, but since then, just 20 meetings between the two teams, and the Bengals have won 11 of them, including the last meeting back in October of 2015. Pass complete here to Sanders. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. To throw, it's Breeze. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he... Short of the line to gain. So the D-line got the push there against the O-line to stop that quarterback sneak.
A really high percentage call on offense. I think it's the right call. But as you noted, if they didn't get the push, you can't get in there. There's no place for him to go. And that's why the whole play got stuffed.
Let's go, fellas.
Result of the play is a turnover on down.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jason McCourty, and he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Hey, kill.
Elliott. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
Yellow lady. Mike 58, right there.
Here's Elliott. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. And that's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
On second down, Elliott. An 8-yard gain, so that gets him halfway there. Now they're left with a 3rd and 8 more.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Breeze. Flush to his right. He can run for it, and he will. And they stop him short of the first as he can only get to the 20. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. And Boswell missed it. Missed it to the right. No good. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. They'll look to throw here on first down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Cole Beasley, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Goodwin able to haul it in. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
Under.
Off the draw, here's Johnson. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's a 2nd and 7. Hunter Henry brings it in. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 30.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Gore. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Now back to throw. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Well, the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate, in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team, and they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
And terrific field position here as they finally get him just shy of the midfield stripe. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Time remaining for likely one final play. You're on your side of the field, but, heck, maybe you throw one up 50-plus yards, see what happens.
Don't forget that taking the knee is the right play to make because you just get out of there, you regroup, you start over. But if you're going to take the shot, you do have a chance of either making the play happen or picking up a deep pass interference call. And remember, it's the NFL. You get yardage. It's not just a 15-yard play. You could have something big here. Let's see if they take the shot.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. And now this throw incomplete, and that is how this first half will come to an end. So we are at halftime here in the opener of the 2019 regular season as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season, so let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll start with a battle of East versus West in the NFC, with Tampa Bay hosting San Francisco. And it's the Niners who have the lead as those two teams play the second quarter. Jameis Winston has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, let's get over to Arizona to check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they trail the visiting Lions in that one. Andrew Luck has thrown a couple of touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And it was the visiting L.A. Rams who get the victory in that one. Kyler Murray with 3 touchdown passes in the Week 1 victory. In the game you're watching, it's the former Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles with the strong first half. His guys lead, though by only a field goal. Still anybody's game. As we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. Shedding the tackle. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Second half starts with a carry by Elliott. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Throwing on second down. Breeze. And a big one. loss here as he's taken down. Frank Clark fighting his way home to get the sack. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
After the sack, they'll come up now third and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they'll look to throw. And that's Elliott, complete. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
I know they don't have rally caps in football, but Drew Brees will probably put one on right now. This is not the normal Drew Brees performance that we're used to seeing.
No, he's such a yardage guy. I mean, he lives on yardage, and this is rare.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's a guy who's been over 5,000 yards in his career in a single season. He knows how to sling it. Let's see if he can get something done before this one is over.
Brees now on first down. Completes it to Hearns. And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 45 yards. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Brees. And Sanders has got it, complete. The ball comes out, and the Bengals grab it.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. The veteran Jason McCourty there to make sure that one didn't find its target. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Running from the gun, Johnson. And they'll get him down here at the 23. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first.
Don't get nervous. No.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Man open, it's Goodwin. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Here's Beckham now. It's a jet sweep. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Foles. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. Foles now hitting on 2/3 of his passes. 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. From the gun, a run for Johnson. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Here's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 40.
I don't know whether I want to be a fly on the wall or not when they hear the explanation of how one of the bigger targets on the field, the tight end could be that wide open and uncovered downfield. Who blew that assignment?
Somebody did.
No doubt about it. There's no way you're not going to account for him.
The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. On second down, Johnson. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be third down. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter, maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. Again, it's Elliott. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. The Seahawks on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Just enough to get the first down there with a 1-yard pickup.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted. Some good games around the league here early in week 1, and this one's shaping up to be as good as any of them as we come up on a 1st and 10. Bree's going to throw. And he'll hit his tight end, Walker. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Flushed out right. And he's going to keep it here. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
He was brought down by Carl Joseph. A gain of a yard.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And he locates Walker, complete. It'll be a gain of 6 that time as it moves the chains as well. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Breeze now 12 of 16 thus far. It's 1st and 10. They run the draw play. This is White. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. Pretty effective blitz there to stop the draw play right in its tracks.
And actually, when they blitz, draw play is supposed to work very well. You're supposed to have them bypass the runner, and he slips back.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Come on, come on. We better not.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now Breeze. Looking deep for Elliott. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty. And it's 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up in that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And out now, here come the Bengals. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs, and the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Foles. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. This a very important drive, and that incompletion leads to a very important 3rd down here if they're going to try and get the football back.
Yeah, getting it back, absolutely crucial to their chances to try and win this game. I would expect a lot of pressure here. They can't afford to let them continue to get first downs and eat away at the clock.
I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
On the return, it's White. A good return there, 17 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And checking that NFL scoreboard there in the 4th quarter down in Arizona. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Andrew Luck, 3 touchdown passes thus far. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Elliott on 1st down, going to get about 3 before he's taken down.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Elliott. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. To throw is Breeze. That one complete to Elliott. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
They'll look to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th. So down 6, and they know they need this one on 4th down.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Watch the ship. Jam.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Breeze. And that is caught. Touchdown. And they're an extra point away from taking the lead here in the final minute. Now they can boot it through on the always important extra point, and then their defense
out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused because they still have some work to do?
A very important extra point there, up and good, and that is going to put them on top by a point, and it sets us up for quite a finish. A drive that time of 6 plays, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. Foles ready to lead this offense. Trailing 14-13, 44 seconds to go. He's back to throw. Complete. Hunter Henry with a grab. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Back to throw. And caught by Henry. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game.
Let's go!
Back to throw. Underneath for Johnson. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll make this a 2nd down. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining.
Hey, here we go. I got you. Let's go, baby. Turn up. Get that ball. Get that ball.
He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. So the victory here for Seattle. And partner, I must say, good to see you again. Been too long. And it's good to have football back, isn't it?
didn't you see me in preseason? Weren't we together in preseason?
Yeah, but preseason, you know, it's preseason. This is week 1.
Oh, you're trying to say real football.
Yeah, real football.
Not preseason football where we shake down the rosters and figure out who's going to play, and maybe the starters don't play as much. Now it's the frontline guys from the first whistle.
Yeah, I tuned you out in the preseason. But now I'm listening to you. So for the Seahawks, they can breathe a sigh of relief as they're able to eke out the 1-point victory here in the opener. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.